Welcome to Macau, the first time that we see a race for the Formula 4 cars here at Macau. And you're looking at car number 2. Charles Leung won the F4 title in China in 2017 alongside Li Si Cheng in the Leo team Macau. All these F4 cars, identical cars, and for the first time with F4 cars at Macau, they have so far equipped themselves beautifully. 28, Chang Wing Chung, Andy Chang, 6th in the China F4 Championship battle coming into Macau, alongside the number 24 car of Ling Kang in the Black Arts Racing entered F4 car. Back to number 22 on the third row of the grid, He Su Zhen in the Smart Life Racing entered car from China, and alongside, we'll see in a couple of moments as we get a chance to have a look right around the back of the car, the number 3 car in 6th position this morning in qualifying, Alan Lowe, Lo Quan Kit in the Pointer Racing entered car number 3. Car 17 is next, 7th this morning, Stephen Hong Shu Jie. A little wave for the camera. Big moment this for many of these drivers competing in the final round of the F4 China Championship here at Macau, but also competing for the Macau Grand Prix as well. And that is a hugely prestigious event to be part of. Car 23, Wei Chao in the Grid Motorsport car. Little wave for the camera. And we have noticed thus far that these cars are very nimble and seem to be very good around the Guia circuit. Shang Tong Yi in the Team KRC car from China. 21 is Zheng Yu Cheng in the Champ Motorsport entered number 21 car. And the number 11 car of Zhu Yangjie, Black Arts Racing, number 11 entered car from China as well. 56 is Jing Tse Feng in the Team KRC run car with a smile and a wave for the camera around TV pictures around the world as well. And James Wong Wai Fu from the Leo team with a thumbs up for the camera as well. The nerves do start to jangle a little before racing in a single-seater around the Guia circuit. Zhang Huai in the Zheng Hui entered car number 95. Next on the grid, 61 is Hon Ying Fu in the Henmax Motorsport car. And quick chance to look to the camera and then settle down to the preparation, the final moments of preparation for 8 laps around the circuit. And the 26 car, 16th in qualifying, Yu Song Tao in the Asia Racing Team car. Well, you can see plenty of personnel on the grid that need to be cleared now as the countdown continues. Safety car off on its way, and this is the point at which the grid will be cleared for all the personnel around the car. That's your grid. Qualifying on pole position, car number 2, Charles Leung, Smart Life Racing car, alongside Li Xing Cheng from the Leo team. Right the way down the order, this the 8-lap race for the grid for tomorrow's Grand Prix here at Macau. 12 laps tomorrow, 8 laps today, and welcome to Macau. Yep, we got here, we are racing, and it has been a fantastic celebration of motorsport in Macau, as it is every year. Really like this overhead shot from the gantry looking down on the grid, and you can see just how impressive it is. The F4 cars from the China F4 Championship have really stepped up to their headline status this weekend thus far. They have behaved exceptionally well on circuit. We have had precious little problems on track and precious little interventions required in the 3 sessions thus far that they've had out on circuit. 3-day meeting for 2020 for obvious reasons, with the various challenges that are faced in 2020, but an opportunity really to showcase all that is great in this part of the world with motorsport, and it is proven every year here at Macau. So just one member of each team directly involved in the starting of the cars is allowed to remain on track, as the grid is now well and truly cleared. Camera team down there just waiting in the wings, maybe get a shot of some of the cars heading off on their formation lap, but an important time now. The Macau Grand Prix grid is at stake over the next 8 laps, and also the possibility of spoiling it. If something goes wrong today and the car is damaged, then the dream of racing for the Macau Grand Prix is gone. So they will be pretty keen to look after the cars and to get a good grid position for the race tomorrow. Pick your favourites, everybody. Charles Leung, it is, that starts on pole, the Macau driver. Drivers from Macau, from Hong Kong, from China as well. Give you an idea how the championship looks heading into these final 2 rounds, with the unassailable lead of 169 points for He Zhu-shen, the Smart Life racing car, but very, very close for second place. 78 points for Stephen Hong, Hong Shu Jie, and for Lai Si Cheng, both on 78 points. Lo Kwan Kit on 75 points. As they get the final countdown to get this 8-lap race, or at least the formation lap, underway here in Macau. The members of the teams that were directly involved in starting the cars make their way off with their starting equipment, and then the first time the drivers are left very much on their own to focus, visualise and think about the 8 laps that will unfold. Just one last member of one of the teams making their way off the grid. Normally, of course, a Formula 3 race, and last year, for the first time, it was for the new last year FIA Formula 3 cars. They were spectacular, as you would expect. They are hugely aerodynamic. They're much bigger cars than the F4 cars, but the opportunity for F4 to fit the bill for the Macau Grand Prix in 2020 is a huge privilege for them, and they have done us proud this weekend thus far. The cars look really good around the circuit, really nimble, really neat, and they have a huge amount of prestige at stake. Writing your name into the record books to take the title of Macau Grand Prix winner is amongst some very, very impressive names. As you go through the names, Ayrton Senna in 1983, Riccardo Patrese won the race 2 years back-to-back at the end of the 1970s. Martin Donnelly, David Brabham, David Coulthard, Rickard Rydell, Michael Schumacher. The names are endless. Takuma Sato, of course, Indy 500 winner, and Eduardo Mortara, who went on to be so extremely successful here at Macau in GT cars as well. He won back-to-back victories. So too did Felix Rosenqvist, now racing in Indy cars as well. And Antonio Felix da Costa, Portuguese driver, left 4 years in between his wins. Went away, did DTM, came back, won it again. Superb. And to have it on your CV, you only need to speak to the likes of Antonio, and he'll say just how important this race is and just how much it means to stand on the top step of the podium tomorrow afternoon for the title of Macau Grand Prix winner. Charles Leung from Macau, 19 years old, 2017, won the Asian Formula Renault Championship, also the China F4 Championship, 2017, a very good round for Charles Leung, competing this year in the FIA F4 Chinese Championship with more limited options available for international racing, of course. Opportunities still to race in these championships with the FIA approved championships. There are many FIA approved championships around the world. One in the UK as part of the support package for the British Touring Car Championship. Seeing the likes of Lando Norris in relatively recent years competing in exactly the same F4 machinery. All the cars are Macau cars to the FIA F4 specification, and they get the cars up to temperature around Donna Maria now, up towards the Melco hairpin on the formation lap. Charles Leung in the Smart Life Racing Macau heads the field around through Melco hairpin. Circuit opens up now into Black Sands and a fast run down towards Fisherman's Bend, which is a challenging and fast corner onto our bend, and that will be when they form up on the grid to get this 8-lap qualification race underway. Timing screen updates itself and gets itself ready for the start of 8 laps of competition in Formula 4 cars around the Guia circuit for the first time, competing for the Macau Grand Prix, the 2020 Macau Grand Prix, the 67th running of the race, and with the pretty narrow and nimble F4 cars, they can afford to use the most of this tarmac and really weave the cars and get some heat into the tyres. You don't be sitting on pole position for too long. All of that heat that Charles Leung is getting into the tyres will dissipate if he has to wait too long on pole position. So they line up. This is where the nerves really do begin to rise. In a moment, the engine note will rise as well, and we will get, for the first time at Macau, a Formula 4 race underway for the Macau Grand Prix. Green flag waved. We are good to get the race underway. 8 laps of the Guia circuit here at Macau. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 lights, 5 lights. Wait for them to go out. Quite a long hold on the red lights, and then we get the race underway. Good off the line for Charles Leung, so he heads up to head the field around. Maybe not quite so good from the outside of the front row from Li Xingcheng, third in the F4 China Championship heading into this weekend at Macau. Ling Kang has gone well off the line as well and is having a look to take that second place. as they all safely get through the first of the challenges on the run down towards Lisboa, and that was the huge challenge of Mandarin. All safely through, a little bit tight going through Lisboa. Did somebody go on the escape road? I think they did, but that's what the escape road at Lisboa is for. Much better than to go into the tyres on the outside of the corner. Meanwhile, Giles Learn got a jolly good start after a long hold on the red lights on the grid. Now into maternity. 4 sectors now on the timing for the Guia circuit. So we get indications on the first sector up to just before Lisboa. The mountain section between San Francisco and the exit of Macau split into 2 sectors now, and the final sector, the run down towards the checkered flag, fast run down through Black Sands, Fisherman's and R Bend, the final sector on the circuit. Giles Learn it is that leads up towards the Macau hairpin for the first time, onto the brakes, neat and tidy, avoiding the barrier, using plenty of tarmac on the exit of the corner, sets you up for a good run down through Black Sands and Fisherman's. But it's Giles Learn so far on this opening lap. He's done everything right. He's won the championship, don't forget, in F4 in China in 2017. He's a Macau driver, so he knows how huge a thing it is. And a very, very good start by Andy Chang to get up into second place. Across the line they go. 1 lap complete now. So 1 lap into the book for the 2 Macau drivers in the field in first and second places. That's a huge story for the local drivers. Giles Learn leads the race. Second place, car number 28, Andy Chang. Third place, car number 32, Li Si Cheng, started on the front row of the grid. Didn't get the best of the starts after that pretty long hold on the red lights. This is the number 8 car of Liu Yang. Through Lisboa, through San Francisco, up the hill. Got a bit of a break over the 22 car of He Su Zheng, a Smart Life racing car. And up through the mountain section they go. Great little battle here. Little down the order, but 3 very tightly closed together, with at the front of them Liu Yang. Can't really afford to look in the mirrors. You just need to concentrate very much on what you're doing in this section of the circuit. Time to glance in the mirrors will come after they have negotiated the Macau hairpin and get onto the wide and very quick part of the circuit. When I say that, don't think that this isn't pretty quick. It is, but it's also very twisty and quite a challenge, as all 3 of them very much tied together in 4th, 5th, 6th places through Donna Maria, because the race leader is on his way, and so too is Andy Chang in second place. And Giles Learn has just put in purple in sectors 2 and 3. Andy Chang put in purple in sector 1. So Giles Learn heading up towards the completion of 2 laps in an 8-lap qualification race for the F4 Macau Grand Prix. Absolutely brilliant idea. Oh dear, and not good news indeed. You can see the first of the cars that needs to extricate himself is Tseng Yu Cheng in the 21 car. We've also got the 48 car down there of James Wong, and 2 other cars. Well, it's just the negotiation. Yes, good. reverse gear is found, circuit completely blocked there, and reverse gear was the key to unlocking that collection of F4 cars all together. Let's hope that none of them are badly damaged and need to cause an interruption in this race. Certainly that will be something that Charles Leung will be hoping not to have to go through, because he already has with a safety car board. Yeah, it will be a safety car. The yellow lights flashing to indicate that's something that's going to happen. The 48 car still can't get going, so that needs to be recovered. James Wong, and the 95 car as well, Zhang Huai. Or possibly they will get on their way. They don't look too damaged. No, says the marshal. Don't worry. 95 gets on his way. Zhang Huai, and the 48 car still here at the moment. Can get a push from the marshal. And the car gets going after a push from the marshal. So with the safety car boards having been displayed, I wonder, is there anything that needs to be cleared up from the circuit? Because all the cars have been able to tussle themselves free and get on their way. Having a look at Liu Yang in the number 8 car. One of the advantages perhaps of having the slightly smaller cars of F4 FIA specification around the circuit, they are a little bit easier to manoeuvre from a collection of cars that have come together like we've just seen. Head of that field, Li Su Cheng, heading up to O, and a real problem now, because at the Macau hairpin we need the crane to execute a lift, which it can do relatively quickly and easily, and until that is done and clear on the exit of Macau hairpin, we can't go racing. Everybody just needs to wait, same for everyone. And as the car is pulled back under marshal power, are they going to be able to steer the car around the first of the cars that are in the queue to get on their way? It's a pretty long cable which is extended to the car, and the crane operators are incredibly adept at the work that they do. Look at that, very, very good indeed with the aid of marshals. Through you go. The rest of the field can now make their way through the Macau hairpin and down towards the start-finish line. Fastest lap, not surprisingly, had gone the way of Charles Leung, 2:29.494 for car number 2, which I'm looking at now, with the number 28 car just behind of Andy Chang. And that was quite a delay for the rest of the field, with the safety car board being displayed and flashing yellow lights and yellow flags being displayed around the circuit. They will now, the leaders, have completed 2 laps. Safety car boards being displayed, and only now do they pick up the BMW the 2 safety car, and those 2 cars will be way through past the safety car, I have no doubt, because the leaders are here and doing the important job of trying not to let the temperature in the tyres dissipate too much. So therefore, behind the safety car, need to now weave the cars quite a lot from side to side. Now the speed has come down behind the BMW. So a grid of Formula 4 cars for the first time has gone racing here at Macau, and a few incidents to deal with on the second lap of the race. Lee Sing Cheng there in car 32 in third place. Charles Leung, car number 2, leading. Andy Chang in second place, car 28. And the local crowd are going to, no doubt, enjoy this with 2 Macau drivers at the front of the field. Final weekend of the year for the China F4 Championship this weekend at Macau. What a way to finish the championship as well on the Guia circuit at Macau. For so many years it formed the venue for the final race of the year for the World Touring Car Championship. Down through Teddy Yip. A lot of tyre squealing going on, and tyres very much on their minds at the moment, as in keeping their heat until the race gets back underway, with the safety car presumably able to come into pit lane at the end of this lap. Exactly what Charles Leung is doing now, weaving the car as much as he can through Moorish Corner. There's a brief look down to the display on the car there. So came out of Moorish, whipped the car from side to side, then through Donna Maria, long left-hander, Macau hairpin. Well done to the crane operator, good work done to clear the Macau hairpin. And I think, certainly as far as the pictures we've seen, first time that that crane has been required this weekend. Three laps to be completed at the end of this lap. Right. Under the safety car. I think we're all pretty sure that the safety car will be pulling in at the end of this lap, and that timing screen has once again frozen, so not getting the update. But oh dear, and a contact which involves the number 17 car of Hong Chu-Shai. That's really not good news at all, is it, in the final run-up towards the restart. So Hong Chu-Shai about to, I think only without a small piece of bodywork, and I'm going to presume that that's the bodywork from his car, but we are green flag and we are racing again. So that was really quite a shame, as they were weaving the cars from side to side. Easy done when they are weaving the cars viciously from side to side on that final run to get the race back underway, and very easy to knock into one of the other cars doing exactly the same. But a good restart for Charles Leung, good restart also for Andy Chang, and a little look down on the inside by the 32 car that qualified in second place, or Lee Sing Cheng. And we've got another car which has unfortunately had a problem. Is that the 95 car? I think it is, with a deranged front wing as well. So once again we get the indication of yellow flags, yellow lights as well, because the car of Zhang Hui needs to be recovered. So I had said that they'd all behaved so exceptionally well thus far, and now all of a sudden we've got to a race situation. There is perhaps a little bit more potential for things to go wrong, and they rather have done. That's the Solitude S's. Goes right, left, down towards the left-hander at Pale. Up Faraway Hill to the right-handers at Police and Moorish corners. And poor old Zhang Hui can only sit in the car and watch the rest of the field come through. 4 laps to go. The timing screen has updated. And how did that happen? Right. Yeah, so that was the 17 car that we saw earlier on. One car getting a bit too soon maybe onto the power. And that was the first of the incidents that we saw through the Macau hairpin. Under safety car once again. 4 laps complete. Fastest lap of the race has gone to the race leader, to Charles Learn. Advantage at the end of 4 laps. Across the line on the restart, half a second or thereabouts between the 2 Macau drivers, Charles Learn, Andy Chang. And the rest of the field from China and Hong Kong being led by the number 3 car of Alan Lowe, Lo Kwan Kit. And that was just a straight-on moment, and a damaged front wing, and possibly a little more damage on the car as well that we can't quite see for number 95, Zhang Hui. So, Charles Learn leads the field. Once again, back to what they were doing for a good couple of laps behind the safety car, trying to keep the heat in the tyres, trying not to let that heat get away. They've done so much work to build up in the slick racing tyres. And so the BMW safety car leads the field around. BMW, the official vehicle supplier for the 67th Macau Grand Prix. So behind the safety car, once again, they know the form, and very often when racing at Macau, you have to get used to these interruptions. So it becomes very much part of the skill set of the weekend to maintain concentration, to maintain heat in the tyres, and to be ready when the word is given to go and get the race back underway to make the most of the restart. So the 2 Macau drivers, Charles Learn and Andy Chang, behind the safety car through Lisboa. Up to San Francisco once again. 5 laps are in the book. Li Xing Cheng, car 32, in 3rd place. Li Xing Cheng, 3rd in the championship heading into this weekend. 4th place, car number 8, Liu Yang. 5th place in the championship, car number 22, He Su Jen in the Smart Life Racing car. Top of the championship order in 2020, and with a huge points lead. Very impressive year, clearly. So for the second time then, behind the safety car, the BMW heads the field of F4 cars. Lights, of course, on the safety car at the moment. See in the background the number 8 car of Liu Yang, the white Liu Yang team entered car, and the recovery vehicle and lifting equipment on board as the rest of the field come round. Charles Leung just giving it a cursory glance to the right-hand side as they thread their way through. Not too much space there with that recovery being effective. The car, of course, behind, and the course workers, the marshals, indicating to everybody, slow down, keep as slow as you can, please. We need to get this car recovered. It's going no further, not without the aid of a flatbed recovery vehicle, at least. And then we can get racing back underway. 5 laps are in the book. They're going to be completing 6 laps at the end of this one. So quite a few interruptions in this race. Problem is, you can't get yourself into a groove, and the key is to maintain focus, be as sharp as you like, and when the opportunity comes to get racing once again, you make the most of it and capitalise on it, which is what Charles Leung did last time. Realises just how important victory would be here for a Macau driver at the Macau Grand Prix. This rare opportunity for an F4 car to take the claim of Macau Grand Prix winner, and that looks good on any racing driver's CV. So behind the BMW once again, second time during this 8-lap qualification race. And it's Macau and China, the top 3, the podium positions, with the BMW safety car leading the field around once again. And oh dear, the timing screen has indicated some strange results as they come through, up to complete 6 laps into the book, because on the timing screen we have now lost the number 2 car of race leader Charles Leung. But I've got news for you. Timing screen is right there, and he is a Macau driver, and so too is Andy Chang in second place. So the BMW leads the field around once again. Just 2 laps to go, including the one that they have just started, and time to reflect on the career thus far of the 19-year-old from Macau that leads the race. 2017 Asian Formula Renault won that, and also won China F4 Championship in 2017 as well. It was a great year for Charles Leung in 2017. 2018 Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix, but didn't finish that year, but still great for a young driver to be competing on a home race as big as the Macau Grand Prix. And also in 2018 competed in the F3 Asian Championship, certified by FIA, finishing 4th. FIA Formula 3 European Championship 1 round as well for Charles Leung in 2018. 2019 Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix, the FIA F3 World Cup that year, last year, 19th. 3 races in the F3 Asian Winter Series and 1 round in the FIA F3 Championship. And this year, the FIA F4 Championship. So that is the career thus far for the race leader, Charles Leung. As for Andy Chang in second place, also from Macau, 24 years old, 5 years older than the race leader, and Macau Grand Prix in 2013, Formula Masters China Series Invitational, 8th, 2013, 19th in the Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix in 2014, competed also in the FIA Formula Zandvoort Masters, 10th that year. Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix in 2015, 14th. And 14 races in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship, 12th in 2016 Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix. And for Andy Chang, last time here at Macau, but an opportunity too good to be missed to compete on home turf. Timing screen has decided that, yep, it is two Macau drivers at the front of the field. Updates itself and confirms. Car number 2, Charles Leung, continues to lead the race with 6 laps in the book, 7 laps completed at the end of this lap, and therefore just 1 lap to go at the end of this one to determine the grid for the Macau Grand Prix. Lights are out on the safety car. They will get 1 lap of racing. Strap yourselves in. This one could be an almighty lap. So we'll have a restart and a checkered flag all on the same lap. So that is why it is so important to weave the cars and get heat into the tyres for the restart. And those very quick and jerky movements are just what's needed to shock the tyres into a bit of temperature. But you have to know exactly what you're doing with the car to not have a problem. And Charles Leung has got it absolutely right. Got the right amount of heat into the tyres. He's got the restart absolutely right as well. And the 2 Macau drivers get the power down, pull away a little from DC Cheng in 3rd place. And they have got a very, very good restart. They are determined that it's going to be Macau on the Grand Prix podium for the qualification race. But Andy Chang is not writing off the possibility of it being him on the top step of the podium. They're going to go side by side on the run down towards Lisboa. One of those classic signs of a car on the outside. Charles Leung is going to have the inside line through Lisboa, so Andy Chang has to pull in behind and up San Francisco. That potentially would have been the big opportunity for Andy Chang. And the top 3 have all broken away, haven't they? Li Cheng is going with them as well. This is going to be a frantic final lap in this 8-lap qualification race. Top 3 podium positions head up through towards the left-hander at Teddy Ip and onto the Solitude S's. We've got a car which has hit the barrier on the left-hand side on the run towards Teddy Ip. I think a few of them have maybe collected a bit of the debris as a result of that hit with the barrier, and these are the top 3. They are well clear of any of those problems. Charles Leung is having to deal with Andy Chang in 2nd place. It is the battle of the Macau drivers. They need to keep this very cool indeed. It is a final lap sprint, a 1-lap race essentially. It's all come down to this, and Charles Leung determined to keep the top step of the podium. Down towards Donna Maria, through the corner they go, up towards Melco hairpin. Keep it all neat, Charles, keep it all tidy, and the top step of the podium is going to be yours at Macau in the qualification race for the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix. Down they go, down through Black Sands, Fisherman's, and the final corner at our bend. At the moment it's looking very, very good indeed for the car that was quickest this morning. Charles Leung has just got 1 more corner to negotiate, and Andy Chang thinks about putting himself in a position but is not close enough to do anything about this man. Car number 2, Charles Leung, takes the win in the qualification race. So it's Macau with Andy Chang in 2nd place, and in 3rd place it is the 32 car of Li Cheng. So a good day for Macau, all in all. A slightly troubled race with 2 interventions from the safety car, which you can't afford to have too many laps behind the safety car when the race is only 8 laps in duration. But the key, very much to keeping it all neat and tidy. And a nice thumbs up from Andy Chang as he goes past the race winner, Charles Leung, through Lisboa and San Francisco. And be sure they will be taking the applause of the marshals around the circuit. 2 local drivers on the top two steps of the podium makes for pretty good headline stories for the first time F4 cars have competed in the Macau Grand Prix. Lee Sing Cheng in car number 32, 3rd in the championship heading into this final meeting of the year, and 3rd in the qualification race as well. It was a boisterous race in places, wasn't it? That stricken car on the circuit needs to be recovered before we get racing back underway. 2 more races to look forward to, with qualification positions to fight for the races tomorrow. Macau Guia race for touring cars, TCR China, and the Macau GT Cup as well, their qualification race over 8 laps. Take us through to something after 8:40 local time here at Macau. Nice round of applause for Charles Leung. Past the marshals, onwards down towards the final sector on the circuit through Donna Maria, and as we look towards tomorrow, Charles will be very, very happy to take the first spoils of race victory this weekend. But of course, it's tomorrow which this is all about. Certainly a jolly good dress rehearsal today. Pretty usual to have at least one intervention from the safety car for an incident recovery, and Charles really did perform extremely well behind the safety car, keeping the car up to temperature and everything about it. Macau driver is a winner at Macau in the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix for 2020. Into pit lane they come, and a podium will come up in due course ahead of the Macau Guia race, qualification race for 8 laps. But at the moment, it's all about the Macau Grand Prix, the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix, and 2 Macau drivers on the top 2 steps of the podium. It's a pretty good headline story. Charles Leung, Andy Chang. There's Charles bringing the car into Parc Fermé, being indicated where to pop the car. No doubt the drivers will be weighed. The technical checks take place in Parc Fermé as well. And the 3rd place car of Lee Sing Cheng comes to a stop down in Parc Fermé, and those points in the F4 China Championship this weekend are going to be all important. As a little wave for the camera, pop the steering wheel back into place, because for these F4 drivers there is much work yet to be done this weekend. Lee Sing Cheng about to get himself out of the cockpit and head over towards the weigh scales. Charles and Andy need to go through that process as well. But Charles Leung, a 19-year-old, has taken the first spoils of victory for F4 racing around the Guia circuit here at Macau. And a very proud moment will come quite soon, when the opportunity to stand on the top step of the podium, your local race, local driver, and with the prestigious possibility of taking a crown in a very, very prestigious history of winners here in the Macau Grand Prix. 67th running of this race this weekend in 2020. Pretty historic year. Huge feat to get this event to take place, and absolutely fantastic that it is. Top three drivers making their way over towards the podium area. I'll get indication on where to go after brief congratulations from a few of the supporters ahead of the podium confirmation of the result. A win for car number 2, Charles Leung. Second place, Andy Chang. Third place, Lee Sing Cheng, soon to climb aboard on the podium. And the presentation will be made by Mr. Alan Lau, Deputy Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organising Committee. Before the podium presentation, let's have a look back at the highlights of the qualification race for the F4 cars here at Macau. Shouldn't take too long to get the drivers up to the podium. All of them we've seen going through the weigh check at the end of the race and heading their way over to the back of the building. Podium about to get underway for the qualification race.
From China, Lee Xi-Cheng, number 32.
Lee Xi-Cheng about to take the third step of the podium.
In second place, from Macau, China, number 28, Chang Wing-chong.
Chang Wing-chong, Andy Chang, about to take the second step of the podium proudly at the home race.
And the winner, also from Macau, China, Leung Hon Chu.
Leung Hon Chu. Charles Leung onto the top step of the podium.
And now may I have the honor to invite Mr. Alan Lau, Deputy Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the trophy to our drivers.
So Mr. Alan Lau, Deputy Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organising Committee, is to make the presentation. First of all to Lee Sing Cheng,
who gets a handshake and the laurel
and
the trophy, and then to our second place driver,
Garland Trophy,
local driver Chang Wing-chong.
Chang Wing-chong
Congratulations.
in second place, Andy Cheng,
Leung Hon Chu.
and the winner, Charles Leung.
And now, how about a photo?
Photo opportunity not to be missed for two Macau drivers on the podium here at Macau. And of course, Mr. Alan Lau, Deputy Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organising Committee, no doubt has had a very busy year organising this weekend, and can be very proud that it's a Macau driver on the top step of the podium out of a predominantly China and Hong Kong entry. Two drivers for Macau, and two of them end up on the top two steps of the podium for the qualification race for the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix.
Congratulations to Lee Xi-Cheng, Chang Wang-chun and Leung Hon-chiu.
So Charles Leung
Thank you very much.
on the top step of the podium, and it will be tomorrow that huge celebrations will take place. If that performance can be replicated here at Macau, with a Macau driver on the very proud top step of the podium. A great celebration. They'll head off to a press conference now following their qualification race. And I think it was all about keeping the concentration and keeping the heat in the tyres during those safety car interventions to be able to get a very good restart twice. So a great start and two superb restarts by Charles Long. Another chance to have a look at the highlights of the qualification race over 8 laps here at Macau for the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix.